ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we have been reading from Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 32nd chapter, and this chapter describes the journey after death in two paths, the path of light and path of darkness. And there are many questions which came in relationship with that, which are not directly answered here, but they are in mind of people. And I found this book, which is at least in line. I did not find anything which is against Shastra in this, but gives some details of the planets which are beyond Bhuloka and what happens after death. So I thought it will be interesting to read this and get an idea, because this whole knowledge also about the 5th canto and these planets, it also gives some nice view into that, what exactly it is, the Sumeru mountain and all that. It's a book, at least according to the author, it is written what he has experienced in his life, and there is a dialogue with a yogi who is coming from the upper planetary system, who was his friend before he died, and they met in Kumbh Mela, and there is a dialogue between them. So this person is some Devdutt Shastri. He says the book was written in 84, and it's more like as if he is explaining. It says 19 years ago, in Indian calendar 2015, now I think it's 2063, 2063, now it is 2063 Indian system. So he's talking about 2015, about 50 years ago. It says Basak Shukla Akshatritiya. Akshatritiya comes in summer when we have Chandan Yatra. So that day he says that around 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday my wife died. And before death he heard the pastimes of Lord Krishna from Bhagavatam.
She heard.
Yes, she heard. And then she recited Lord Ram's name 3 times. And then she died. After 1 year, his yearly Shraddha was done. I told you already that in India we have this yearly Shraddha for the forefathers. At midnight, I was sitting in my room thinking something, then suddenly I felt like some mystical figure, not M-Y-S, but M-I-S-T, like some kind of fog. And then I saw that a female form appeared in front of me, and then I was surprised that she was actually my wife who has died 1 year ago. And she had the same form, same appearance, just as it was before, except that she was wearing white dress. For some time I was bewildered, then I stood up and she was just standing, very peaceful. Then she spoke and I asked her to sit down. She sat on the ground. I did not see any difference in her movements as she used to be. The only difference I saw was that she was very, very peaceful and effulgent on his face. Then she spoke very in a deep voice that time is very limited, I am going. I asked, where have you gone after death? And what do you do? What do you feel? At least tell me that. She said that I live in Kailas in the service of Parvati and I am very happy. And we are mostly meditating there. Then I asked, where do you live on the Kailas mountain? She laughed and she said, you don't know. You are thinking that I am on the Kailas which is on earth. I said, no, I am in the Kailas Dham, which is much higher than the earth. And it is a very effulgent place. And Lord Shiva, along with his associates, his devotees, many sages and devas, they all live there. Then I asked that which planet is this? She said that this is the 9th planet from heaven and it is very great. And there are forests, mountains, rivers, fruits, flowers, animals, birds, etc. But they are not like the ones you see on earth. They are all divine and everything is nectarian there. After saying this, then she left. She said, I am going now. And then the form disappeared. Says, since then, which was 1959, I became very curious about the mystery about life after death. And then, says in 1966, I went to Kumbh, and there I met my old friend, whose name was Gauri Shankar Prakash Dev Bal Brahmachari. Now he was not a brahmachari, he has taken sannyas, Dandi sannyasi. But when I met him, he was treating me as like before. And every day he used to do sacrifice with 250 grams of ghee. And he will also eat ghee in his diet. And I did not see him eating not cooked in ghee. He was eating the food offered in the sacrifice. He was about 6 feet tall and had long arms and very brilliant body and had yellowish colored matted hair and wide face which had tripundra made from chandan and he was wearing Rudraksha in his arms, neck, and appeared like Shiva himself. He will not travel to any village or city and was not begging any food from any person. He used to travel from Himalaya to Ganga Sagar. Ganga Sagar is the place where the river Ganga merges into the Bengal Khadi, Indian Ocean. He was a great yogi, a perfected being, and I knew that he has many mystical powers. But although I knew about his greatness, I always treated him just like a friend, not like a great holy person. And he also used to treat me like that, although he was much senior to me in age, but he behaved with me as he used to behave many years ago. So when I met him in Prayag at the Kumbh Mela, he asked me, so this he was talking about his earlier life, that how he was wandering up and down. In India, there was a custom that there are many sadhus. They live on the bank of Ganga. It's like there are many sadhus, they live in Vrindavan and they say we will never leave Vrindavan. There are many sadhus, they take shelter of Ganga river and they don't leave Ganga river. So they travel from Himalaya to Ganga Sagar and back and forth, walking. And they don't go away from there. So there are still sadhus like that. So he's explaining about him, but now after many years he's meeting him again. So then when I told him that my wife has died, then he asked me that who is looking after your children and so on. And then he said that I know that you are searching about the mystery of life after death. And then I told him what has happened and why I became interested in this. And I have read many shastra and I have read many books about ghosts, but still I am not very clear. Then he said that whatever is written in the Vedas, in the Upanishads, in the Puranas, and in other philosophical books is all true. There is nothing false about it because it is written on the basis of experience. And after reading this, if you go to these planets, then you know that what is described is actually true. So I asked him that, do you mean that I should experience it after dying? But then how do I utilize that experience in my life now? He said that I am telling you about my experience, don't take it otherwise. I am not saying that you have to give up your body and then go. I am just saying that I have experienced all this. I laughed hearing this and then I put my hand in his pocket and asked, do you have some money? So he had nothing. So I asked him, why is your pocket empty? So he said, I don't need money. I can travel anywhere, wherever I want to go. So I asked him, so is it true that you have gone to the other planets? He said that actually I live there only and I come here once in a while. So I asked him, then when you go to the other planets, who protects your gross body? He said that my gross body, I already dropped it 5 years ago in the river Ganga. So I put my finger into his thigh and I said, then what is this? So he says, no, this body is made from prana. This is pranamaya. And I said, but I don't see any difference. He said that there is a great difference, and to meet you, I have accepted the previous body so that I could talk with you and you will think I am the same person. Then I asked him, so what is the difference between my body and your body? He said that your body is made of 16 objects which are sensible by the senses, Indriya Rasayan. And my body is made of Buddhi, Ahankar, Bhavna, Chetana, 5 cognitive senses, 5 working senses and 5 pranas. He says these 19 elements make my body. And this body is called Pranamaya, and it exists even when the gross body is destroyed. And this body exists in every human body, and after giving up the body, one remains in this body and travels to the other planets. So I asked him that, explain this more clearly. So then he said that the soul is covered by 3 types of bodies: the gross body, the pranamaya body and the causal body. And these 3 are kept together by Ichha Shakti or willpower. And this gross body, which is made of bones, flesh, etc., this is created by the will of the Lord. And on the earth you have all types of differences. This is mine, this is yours. Attachment, hatred, dislike, envy, enmity, disease, distress, happiness, union, separation, gain, loss, birth, death, fame, disfame. He says when a person is unable to tolerate this, then one likes to give up the body. Or when a person's desire to live diminishes, then the death comes, and then this gross covering of the body is removed, and the soul remains covered by pranamaya and causal body. So I asked that how are these bodies made? So he said that in the causal body there are 35 divisions. Out of that, human beings have 19 which are pranamaya and 16 are gross. So this combined together make 35 things. So it says that the first, there is pranamaya's body and then there is the gross body. And the pranamaya body is made from the waves which are intensified.
The waves.
Yeah,
Waves of what?
energy.
Okay.
Because energy, matter is nothing but energy. When energy waves are intensified, then it looks like matter. Otherwise, now also matter is nothing but waves. At the quantum level, it's all waves. So the subtle waves make the pranamaya body, and the gross waves make the gross body. Lord, He takes one original tattva prakriti and transforms into so many different things. And then the causal body, Karan Sarir, is superior to Pranamaya Sarir, Pranamaya body, and Pranamaya body is superior to the gross body. It says that when we die, then the gross body is destroyed, but Pranamaya remains, and with the Pranamaya body, you travel to the other planets. And if you go to the causal planets, then there are liberated souls there. So I asked that where are these planets? He says that those souls who are sattvic in nature, and they are engaged in welfare, devotion. Then after death, they go to the higher planetary system. And this higher planetary system, which are called pranamaya, is not one, but there are many of them. He says that you try to understand that what you call as heaven, and this is interesting, and we also read that here. He says that heaven is not just one heaven, but there are different divisions in that. Lower, middle, higher, very high. And then above that there is Goloka. And also there are Saket, Sayodhya, Kailash.
Goloka?
Beyond that. Says that Pranamaya Loka, the seventh division is called Hiranmaya. That is the Satya Loka, Brahma, Hiranyagarbha. It's also called Divya Dham. According to the actions, one's action, people go to the lower or higher planets. Says that these planets are much beyond the gross what you see. When we look at this world from there, then it seems like a bulb hanging. And in there also there are moon, sun, stars, etc. But they are not gross like this. They are divine. And then he explains that how people actually travel, they can travel and they have the power to move from one place to another place, from one planet to another planet. And there everything is made of prana. So he says that sometimes some people from this planet, they come to earth to help those who are doing sadhana here or people in general. So he says that I have also been sent here for that, and sometimes I come here. And those people who are engaged in austerities, for their upliftment, I help them. Then I ask him that when you had the gross body, when you are living on earth, you still have that. What is the secret behind this? He said that when you give up your gross body and you go to the higher planet, then you can get a body at your will, gross body, if you like to have when you come here. In other words, it's not that I am maintaining this body. He says the body there are pranamaya, where they are airy bodies, and they have the capacity to accept any type of gross form. So he says that you look like same as I saw you 10 years ago. So is it that you do not age there? He said that in whatever age one dies, whether a child or old or young, then you have the same age when you go to Pranamaya Loka. But
Too late, you know. Too old for that now.
no, just listen.
Okay.
But he says that those who are old,
Yeah.
they can change and get a young body. And what do the people eat there? Say that everything there made from light. Everything is light. The plants, trees, fruits, flowers, you can get anything just by will. So our food is different from the food of human beings on earth. Everything there comes from trees, plants.
I'll better bring my pasta.
Yeah.
You can get a pasta, but you will not like that. There are better things. So then he's talking about how is the water there and how are the rivers and mountains. But one important thing he says that this material world is not created by the mixture of electrons, protons, etc., but it is made, and nor those planets are made from the prana. It says whether this world or that world, everything is made from the will of the Lord. And therefore, whether it is Mayavad, Sapekshavad or anything Vad, this is not the philosophy. Specifically saying about Mayavad. The people there, they have inner intelligence.
Inner intelligence.
Yeah, like the third eye.
Mm.
And because of that, they can understand what is happening on earth. So he says, that's why I know that now it is time for Kumbh Mela and I can come. And those yogis who are living on earth, who have also developed this inner intelligence, they can also know what is happening on the higher planetary system, not the others. He says, people there, they can all know about everything here, but from here only there are few who can know. He says the people there are always in bliss, peaceful, and they care to help people here on earth. So this is also mentioned in Bhagavatam. I think it already came either in second canto, that the only misery, I think in one of the planets, is that they worry about what is happening here. Says that they are free from delusion, doubt, confusion, hatred, misconceptions. They can understand the truth, they are fixed in their knowledge, and therefore they can communicate properly without misunderstanding each other's words, even by thoughts. Everything works there on light. So just as the life here exists on oxygen, there it exists on this prana. And then those people who can further develop their body from there, they can go to Hiranyaloka, which we read that they can go to Satyaloka from there. So that is gradual. Says that's when somebody gives up the body here and comes to the higher planetary system, then the residents there, they feel happy and receive him very nicely. Somebody has come. Here on earth, we see everything, or we understand everything only through the five senses. But there they have the sixth sense, which we call the inner intelligence. And everything is known through that. Say that although they are also in the body, they have eyes, nose, ear, skin, tongue. All these senses are there. But they have three eyes. The two are remaining half open, and then there is a third one which is opened, which is called the sixth sense. And with this sixth sense, they can do anything. They can smell, they can see, they can taste, everything they can do. And then he says that not only that, he says that from every part of our body, we can see, hear, eat, smell, from any part. Although still there is a body in there. And because this body is very subtle, therefore there is no danger of any injury to it. There is no disease, it does not get old or get destroyed. There is no effect of cold or heat or sunstroke or weapon or storm or rain. Any of these natural calamities do not disturb us. He says that just as in the material, this gross body, you have your brain and you have your heart, which are the two important parts. In the pranamaya body also, there is a head which is also made of prana, and there are 1,000 petals in this, and in that there is the susumna nadi, one nerve, which has 6 centers which are awakened, and the heart gets its energy from the head, and then it flows into the whole body. And just as the various types of bhavas or moods they manifest in the gross body, in the pranamaya body the various moods come because of the power of the mantras. Then he says that those people who go from earth to this planet, they can recognize their relatives, friends, teachers, if they go there. This question was asked that how do we know? He says they can recognize. You reach them. Then he said that the question is asked that do they also have mental disturbance on this planet? So he says that there are different levels of these planets. Those who have reached to the highest planets, they do not have any mental pain or distress or confusion or any dualities. But those who are on the lower planets, they can have such feelings, such disturbances. So we also know that there are different levels. There are Yaksha Loka and Gandharva Loka, all these lokas. And then there are higher ones. So he says that how long is their life? When this question was asked, he said yes, their life is also limited, and it is according to the pious deeds. When the pious deed is finished, then they have to come to earth. But those who are living in these planets and engaging in devotion or yoga practice and doing kirtan of the Lord's name, then they can also move from there up, and they can go to the 3rd pranamaya loka and then reach Divya Dham, and can also go to Goloka, which is eternal, and they don't come back. So now the question is that if they have to come back on earth, then they have to die to give up their body. So he says that there are 2 ways that the residents of these lokas come again on earth. One is by their own will to do welfare, swechha. And the other is that when their piety is over, then they have to live helplessly, whether they like it or not. It says that when they come from there to here, when it is time for them, they have death, but they don't feel any pain as you feel pain here on earth. It says that but just by their will, this effulgent body is dissolved, and then they enter into the womb here on somebody. Although at that time, if they have to leave by force, they also feel a little disturbed, but not so painful. Then he talks about mukti, how one attains liberation. So he says that he explained all this to me, and then he disappeared. Then he writes later on, and he also explains that basically there are 7 divisions: Bhurloka, Bhurloka, Swarloka, Janloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka. So as we read in the Bhagavatam, he is explaining in the same way that this is the Bhuloka, and from here up to Dhruvloka is called the Bhuvarloka. And the planets above that, then that is called the heaven, which we usually use the word heaven, where Indra is. And beyond that is then the... So these are for the people, all this area is for the people, and sometimes this is also called Brahmanda. And beyond that then are the 4 planets: Maharloka, Janloka, Taploka and Satyaloka. So he says these people who go, they cannot go outside. The outside is only those who are either brahmacharis or sannyasis, or devotees who have performed devotion to see these planets.
2.
To see these planets.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise one remains within this Brahmanda. Then he also explained that this Meru mountain and all is not as you think, as gross. It says this is subtle. It says all these planets are subtle. Like it says that the presiding deity of the lower heavenly planet is Indra, and the higher planetary systems are not under the control of Indra. They are Maharloka, Satyaloka, Tapoloka and so on. And these are attained only by the people who are situated in knowledge, not to other.
Means Gyanis.
Yeah. Or Gyanis or Karmishra Gyanis. So he says those who go to these planets, there are 2 paths, Devyana and Pitriyana, which is also called Shuklagati and Dhumagati, light and darkness. It says those who follow the path of Pitriyana, the darkness, they have both auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. For certain distance they go together on the same path, and then they separate. Those who have to go to hell, they take another direction, and those who go to heaven, they take another one.
So Svarga is the world that Indra controls.
Yeah. There is another thing, he says that those who go to hell, they are given this yatna body, and he says that sometimes it is seen that when people are born, they have birthmarks. He says this is also coming from if they have suffered very severely in the yatna body, then it can carry.
What does yatna mean?
It's a body you get when you go to hell. It came in Bhagavatam.
But the gross body, it carries these slabs.
Yeah, that can also reflect in the gross body.
But what is the yatna body?
Yatana body is a type of body you are given when you go to hell.
What type is that?
What type?
Yeah.
What type?
She wasn't here when you explained that.
It's also one type of body. It's not gross like this. It is also subtle body.
Subtle.
So that you can be given hell and you can suffer
Oh, and you don't die.
and you don't die.
Right.
Yatana means suffering. The body is meant so
Suffering.
that you can suffer peacefully.
You can suffer a lot peacefully.
You're not too much disturbed.
So if one is born with a birthmark, does that indicate recent experience in hell or just from any
Recent.
time? Recent.
Yeah.
No, I had one when I was born.
Well, it may not be always like that, but he's saying sometimes it's also coming because of your past life, past human life. You may be born one after another. And he also talked about taking birth in the family. Or coming around the family people. But one thing he said was that you recognize your relatives, because this question was asked, if you go to Pitriloka, then will you recognize? So you can recognize. So now we can read our Bhagavatam verse.
Is it actually a good translation to say planets to Loka?
I don't know.
Because a planet really depicts a geographical location, whereas here, according to this description, it is subtle.
Yeah, but I don't know how to translate it.
A sphere is also not exactly.
It's difficult sometimes to translate these words.
Realms.
Yeah, some space which has this specific quality.
So then in what way does that subtle world we experience after death relate to the physical world we experience in this life?
Well,
You
depends.
know, when we look into the sky and see all the stars and all this Milky Way and things.
Well, according to this is all gross. That subtle thing is not visible. That you can see only if you have yogic power, not otherwise. So this is the problem, that what is being described in Bhagavatam, although it looks like a gross thing, but it is not all gross. But there are also things which are mentioned which are of this earth. So it is a mixture.
That makes it difficult to grasp.
That makes it difficult to grasp and also makes it difficult to relate to what we experience and then actually see it from scientific point of view.
I just have one more question. Why should a devotee want to do a sadhana that promotes him to this 4 upper planets that generally Gyanis and Karma Mishra Gyanis attain?
Because there are also Karma Mishra Bhaktas.
So it is Karma Mishra Bhaktas who would be attracted.
Yeah.
And what would be their sadhana? What is the nature of their sadhana? To meditate on Brahma?
No, they may worship as regular, Vaidhi Bhakti, and then they desire basically that we would like to go there, and they also follow their varnashram duties.
Is that the thing that's described in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita? No.
There it is just by the shown that by the power of mantra.
There's no relationship between the two.
There is more an analysis done to show the relative importance.
When the wife died, she had heard Krishna Leela and she said Ram's name 3 times, and yet she ended up in Kailash with Shiva and Parvati. How does
Well,
that relate?
You know this verse from Bhagavad Gita? You know what verse I'm mentioning?
Well, there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita says that what you're thinking of at the time of death, you attain that. But I can't see the relationship of that here.
No, you say the verse. This is the problem when you translate. Then the meaning is lost. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyaste ante kalevram. What is your bhava? So we don't know, maybe she was a devotee of Shiva. Although he may say Ram, 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 but maybe her bhava was with Shiva. And therefore she went to Kailash. Because it's not what you say,
It's not your
but what is your bhava is. Bhava is that which gives you a destination. And he also says that where you will go, it is decided when you die.
When you die, not before.
Yeah, I mean, so this is what Krishna is saying. What is Krishna saying?
I don't remember exactly.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. This is a famous verse, you must know this. You are already saying that whatever is your thought.
Yeah, I remember the English part.
Yeah, but this is at the time of death. So there is nothing to say. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyastayam te kalevram. That you give up the body. That is death.
So it's the bhava at the time of death.
Yeah, that's what carries you. Just like if you walk from here, okay, and then you go out of this room.
Yes.
So where do you walk? What is in your hand? Right?
Yes.
You could go to Loi Bazaar, you could go to ISKCON temple, you could go to MVT for dinner, you could take taxi to Radhakund. Where will you go? That depends on what you're thinking.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, yes.
And what you think is what you have been doing in your life. You don't suddenly, although you can go to Loi Bazaar, but why would you go to Loi Bazaar? You have no interest there. Right? So therefore, death means you are moving out of this body. So where will you move?
The way you think.
What do you think? And what you will think, that is influenced by what you have done in your life.
And the whole life, yes.
What is your personality? What is your psychic makeup? So that's why what we are trying to do is change our psyche by the sadhana. So that at the time of death, then that will be our bhav. And we live. So it is not just a question of doing things mechanically. Although it is described that holy name has this power and Ajamila, this happened by Namabhas. That is to show the power, that it has power. But that power, whether that power will work for you or not, depends on your bhav, your state of consciousness. So that is very important. So all this study which we are doing, why are we studying about Sakam Karmis and Niskam Karmis and Yogis and all these materialistic people? So that we understand that these are various bhavas, because these are also states of consciousness of people. They are after artha, they want money. As he was saying that he's with this yogi, he is putting his hand in his pocket and saying, "You have any money?" So why was he doing it? Because for him money is important. Otherwise, why talking to such a great person, his thought is going on money. So that is his state of consciousness. So everybody has some consciousness, everybody has got some shraddha, some faith. Why people are after money? Because this is their faith that without money I cannot live. I have to survive. And if money is not there, how will I survive? This is the faith. And there are people who say, I don't care, I will still survive. Birds, beasts, and so many people, they are surviving without money. So why I am human being, I am superior to all of them, I cannot survive without it. This is their faith. So then they take one outlook of life, and there are others who take another outlook of life. So it depends what is in our, where is our faith, and that guides our actions. So that's why Rupa Goswami said that Ado Shraddha. Why he said it? It's a very interesting point he makes. That how does bhakti begin? Not by chanting Mahamantra. This we say. That he is going to Mangalarti, he is chanting, he is doing this, he is a devotee. No, where is the Shraddha? Where does the Shraddha lie? People can also go to temple to steal shoes. Yeah, they go, they do it. Every day I read in the newspaper that in Bihari's temple somebody's purse got whacked, lost mobile. Every other day there is a news. They also go to temple and they go regularly. They are more regular than other people. Because they get direct benefit. Others, you don't know when the benefit is coming. You have darshan of the Lord and whether you really benefit from this or not. But they are making their living from this. So that is their Shraddha, and they also give some donation to Bihariji for that. They think that he is also blessing them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that they are, it is not that they are atheistic people. They also believe and they think that Bihariji, please. So that is their Shraddha, that he is our...
They give some to Bihariji, some to the police also.
Yeah, some to Bihariji and some to Ram Bihariji.
Just have one question regarding this sadhana and shraddha. So is the nature or type of sadhana that a devotee performs according to the, it is according to the shraddha. Right?
Yes, according to the Shraddha. So the Shraddha is that which has to be acquired at any cost. Because once you have Shraddha, then you move accordingly.
So does the sadhana, how to say, increase the shraddha?
Yeah, then it becomes Nishtha. But when your doubts are clarified, then anartha nivritti. Then you come to Nishtha, then you become fixed. Now nobody can move. In Shraddha you can waver.
So how do I actually know that I'm performing the right sadhana?
Then that you are
Just by the Guru told me that's what I have to do, or Shastra says I have to do this and this, but then it is Vaidhi.
not necessarily that it is Vaidhi.
Not necessarily.
Vaidhi means when you are doing it on the basis of Shastric injunction, and Raganuga means when you like to do it. It's only the difference is in pravritti nimitta.
So if I have a liking for it, this means I'm doing the right sadhana?
No, not that you are doing the right sadhana. People also do many things and they like it.
No, it is also according to
Yeah.
scripture, but I have a liking, so then
Right.
it indicates to me that I'm doing it, I'm on the right track.
Yes.
For you.
For me, yeah.
Yes, for you.
So it is actually a very individual thing, despite all the
Yeah, if you do bhakti is individual.
Shastric injunction.
Yes.
So this means both two people may do the same sadhana, but it creates a different type of shraddha, an individual type of
Yes.
shraddha. They may not have the same shraddha, but do the same.
Not necessary.
Is it nishtha or fixed and cannot be moved?
Yeah, nishtha. Nishtha means fixed. No, you can all even feel the sound is similar, nishtha and fixed. Right? Nishtha is there. Stha means to stay. There's actually a root in Sanskrit which means stha. In English you translate it as to stay or stable. So the word nistha, actually it is nistha which has become nishtha, because these rules you read in study Sanskrit. So means, ni means completely. Nitram sthiyata iti. Asminiti nistha. Means completely staying. It's called fixed. Fixed means being in one place, not moving. So that's what nistha. The word itself means that.
A question about the bath. Okay, when you leave the body, your bath is the one who leads you to your destiny. What is with the animals? How does it work with nature, plants, animals? Yes. Let's say
There is a different system for that.
different system.
They are following a law of karma. There is no bhava involved there.
Law of karma.
A question about these people who they come back to help on the earth or to help people.
This is what you were asking yesterday, right?
Because you were saying also today, no?
I'm saying that's why I read this, because you wanted to know it.
Yeah. So they come back and listen, they help people.
Yeah,
They can choose which body they can acquire or something.
Yeah, but it is also not that all of them are coming and helping. It also depends on the relationship. If you have good relationship with the forefathers or with your family members when they are living, then they also care. It's actually a matter of attachment. And it is for this reason that they again come and take birth. As you said that Prajamanu Jayate, that they again come and take birth in the same family. There is attachment. They are not able to give up this attachment. And that's why these are considered as lower planetary system on this Pitraloka. Because when you go to Maharjan, Satya, then you are free from that attachment because you go there by Gyan. And these are within the realm of karma. So there is a karma field and there is a Gyan field, and beyond that is the Bhakti. Then you go to Goloka. So I was saying that if you do Nam Kirtan, Bhajan, then you can go to Goloka from there. So therefore, in other words, in the material world itself, there are two divisions. One is of attachment and one is of detachment. And then beyond that is the spiritual world.
It's pravriti and nivritti.
Yeah. So pravritti and nivritti both are here. So sometimes bhakti is also called nivritti marg, because you become detached in it. So also pravritti, kriya yoga, it is also called kriya yoga because pravritti is also there in it. But it is beyond both, because here pravritti and nivritti both are for the sake of service of the Lord. You are not attached to the material world because you want to serve, not for liberation, not for anything else. And you are in pravritti also because you want to serve, not because you are attached for sense enjoyment. So it is it has both, or you can say it is beyond both. It is a synthesis of both, and yet it is transcendental to both. Because the purpose is different from the purpose of these two paths.
It was also mentioned in this book that sometimes these great yogis, they come back or at least make arrangements to help the sadhaka. Does this also mean or include the guru? That when the guru has...
Well, it depends which path you're talking about. Because if he is a bhakti guru, then he is not going to be in this world. But if you talk about guru of karma marg and jnana marg, then yoga marg, then they may come because they are still here.
So then who helps the sadhaka onwards when the guru is in Goloka?
It's Krishna himself.
Krishna himself.
Acharya mam vijaniya. He says, I am the acharya, I am the guru.
Yeah, that answers the
He
question.
will help. He says, he is the Chatya guru.
I would like to understand a little bit more about this Shraddha and with sadhana. Shraddha alone can be the method of attaining a result.
No, Shraddha is the qualification of the sadhaka. It is the attribute of the sadhaka.
So then sadhana,
Sadhana is
helps
what
to
the
bring the
sadhaka is
Shraddha.
doing with that Shraddha.
doing the sadhana with the Shraddha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shraddha is not sadhana. Shraddha is the quality of the person. He has that. And because of that quality, he will act on that. It becomes sadhana.
It's actually not possible to do sadhana without shraddha.
Without Shraddha?
No, I mean, when we say sadhana with Shraddha, means that Shraddha is in the same goal which you are trying to achieve with the sadhana. Not that you are doing sadhana, but your Shraddha is somewhere else. As I said, you go to the temple to cut somebody's pocket. So it seems you are also going to have darshan of the Lord, which is a sadhana, which is part of sadhana, vigraha darshan. But your Shraddha is not in that. Your Shraddha is not in bhakti, but in money.
So therefore that sadhana is...
Well, it is also anga of a sadhana, because sadhanas are certain activities. You chant the holy name, you do parikrama, you have darshan of the Lord, or do arati. This is what is called sadhana.
So in other words, if you perform your sadhana for a materialistic goal or purpose, it bears a materialistic result.
That's what we read, that there are 4 types of bhakti. When he gave 4 divisions of bhakti, in sattva, rajas, tamas and nirguna, then in the other 3, the goals were materialistic. Either he is trying to destroy somebody, or he is envious, he wants to take revenge, or he wants some power, position, name, fame, all this. Or sattvic means doing just because it is my duty to do that. And then nirguna means with attachment.
What about a person who does sadhana just to feel better? To feel more peaceful, to feel happier,
Yeah, that is also material.
to be more effective in service?
Just to feel better, that is also material. Because it is what you are interested in only in your peace and happiness, you have nothing to do with God. Bhakti means that your goal is to please Krishna. Now you will become peaceful as a byproduct of that. But if you make being peaceful itself as your goal, then that is not bhakti. Then you are using bhakti for your peace.
That's the
And
third
bhakti has
phase.
become secondary. Bhakti means giving pleasure to Krishna. Bhakti means love, and love means to satisfy the object of love. But if you are doing it so that I become happy, this is the love in the material world. They say I love, but they, why do they love? Because they want satisfaction for themselves. So then that is not love. You are using it for your own goal. So bhakti means that you surrender yourself to God. So now you are not independent like a slave. So slave works for the master's benefit. Now a good master is not going to starve the slave. He will take care of the slave. So here we have not only good master but the best master, who is completely satisfied in himself. Means he doesn't really need your service. But if you do that, he will happily take care of you. So as Krishna says that Yoga Kshema Mahamyam, that I preserve and supply the needs of my devotees. Again, that does not mean that we want that. If he is saying it, because this mind is very clever. So even after hearing this, we don't want that. Diyamanam api na grananti matsevanam vina. As Kapila said that my devotee don't accept even if I give them the 4 types of liberation. Salokya, Sarishti, Samukya. Even if I give them, they don't take. Without my service. If this facilitates the service, then they accept. So here service is important. And everything else is secondary. Now if you make anything else as your goal, then service becomes secondary. And that is the purpose you are doing it for. So if we go to God and we pray and then say, please God, give me this, that means what I am asking from Him, that is important for me, not God. God is secondary. For me, God is important because He can give me what I want. Not that God is important because He is God. So I am using Him as an instrument to fulfill my desire.
One's own desires.
So our attachment will be to what is our goal. So if my goal is liberation, then I cannot be attached to devotion to God. Even if I am doing it, I am doing it because I want that goal to be satisfied.
When I chant, I chant because I want to still my mind. I want to be peaceful. I wouldn't know how to do it to please God. I have to do it.
Well, we chant and that
Just saying it is not enough. Or
yeah, it's just chanting the name of God is pleasing to Him, but you have to do it with that intention that I am chanting it to please Him. You can chant it to make your mind peaceful, or you can chant it because so that God bless you or something else, or you can chant it that this is pleasing to Him and I want to please Him. And even if I don't know how to please Him, I chant so that please tell me how to please You. So same activity can be done with different intention. And according to the intention, the result comes. So that's why intention means again bhav. What is the bhav? The mood. And that is guided by our shraddha. Where is my shraddha?
but then you have to always be aware of the intention all the
Yes,
time.
of course.
It's like you have to meditate on the intention.
Just like if you are doing business, are you not always aware that I have to make profit? Do you have to do any extra effort for that? It's natural. So it becomes natural like that. You don't have to make an effort for that. That is the meaning of Shraddha. When you have Shraddha in Bhakti, then it becomes natural. When it is not there, then we have to force it. So if my Shraddha is in business, then I don't have to remind myself. But if you have a son and he is not interested in doing it because he has got other ideas, then you have to preach to him all the time. Son, you need this and it's very important. And, right?
Driving force.
And then you have to... Why is that? Because he doesn't have Shraddha like you. So you are trying to instill it in him by logic, repeating the thing, giving examples, telling him how beneficial it is. But once he will have it, when he will have acquired it, becomes like you, then you don't have to tell him. In fact, he will become bored if you tell him. He says, why are you telling me this?
And I remember that this Shraddha in Bhakti is really the grace, right? It's not materially generated.
Yeah, it is by grace. By the Yadrichya Jata Shraddha. Krishna says, by grace you get this Shraddha. Syam Math Sevra Sevya Vipra Punyati Vitana Shevanat. By service of Mahat, Tirth Seva.